What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to Rhonda's Real Talk, where people come for the food, but they stick around for the conversation. Before we get into this food, I want to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all. Today, I got some fully loaded nachos, and I am definitely ready to get to it. Need this jalapeno. Wait, this shit ain't as loaded as I thought it was going to be. That's fine. Okay. All right, perfect. Put a little Valentina on it. Give y'all the first bite. I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. These nachos have ground turkey on them, cheese, Kobe Jack cheese, tomato, cilantro, guacamole, Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, and jalapenos. I think that's everything that's on here. I wish I could remember the first time that I substituted Greek yogurt for sour cream. It feels like it was a while ago, but I can't tell the difference. I've been looking forward to these nachos all day, y'all. It's my first meal, breaking my fast. I'm gonna use a little hot sauce back here. It's time to get some more. It's so funny because I never get hot sauce from Taco Bell. I always get the mild sauce. I probably picked that bottle up on accident, honestly. Like I thought I grabbed mild. I'm cracking up, y'all, at the pile of napkins I have on the side. I'm laughing because I always grab like maybe 4 or 5 napkins when really I need like 10 or 15. I'm gonna tear some napkins up. I'm going to tear some napkins up. I don't know what it's about. I feel like it's a fairly new thing. I don't know, but I don't know why I got this little pile of napkins over here. When I know deep down, I want more. I do. This video is coming out on Tuesday, September 2nd. It's Taco Tuesday. What y'all got on the menu today? What y'all eating for lunch, for dinner? So in a couple days, on the 6th, it'll be 2 years for my lock anniversary. And I've worn my hair half up, half down, but the top part is usually like tucked and like a bun. So I haven't seen it like this in a while. My hair has come a long way. I remember when I wanted to wear my hair like this and I couldn't because it wasn't long enough. Like the hair was kind of sticking up all over the place. So now I'm here. This Valentina hot sauce, y'all, is so nostalgic. I've been thinking about so many of my old coworkers. I used to work for one of the credit bureaus. I used to work for Experian back in the day. And I remember, well, it was one of Experian's like subsidiaries. So it was like in this call center I worked in, and people would order their credit reports, didn't realize they actually signed up for a service. They were always wanting their money back, always cussing and escalating the calls and stuff like that. So it was one of those jobs I was working while I was in college. And then I remember Experian wanted to like pilot this other product. So they put me and like maybe 6 other people on the team. Y'all, when I tell y'all we got so close, we were so close. Like those were my dogs, for real. And I'm saying all that to say, we used to always have potlucks. And Valentina was always there at our potlucks. I wonder how they all doing. I wonder how they all doing. I remember one of them got married like maybe 10 years ago. Has it been 10 years? Maybe it has been 10 years. And I went to the wedding. Me and Mom went to the wedding. So, you know, I stayed in touch with them for a while. I gotta check in, or at least find people on social media and see what's up, see what's going on. I remember one of my coworkers in that small group made me really think about how, you know, events in our lives can just really change us. Like, can really break us down. Like I told you, we're really close. And one of my coworkers, y'all, and I started right in the middle between her and somebody else. So that we used to talk all the time. And I feel like that if we didn't meet at work, I don't think we ever would have met any other way. You know what I'm saying? Like our paths would have never crossed. But we used to talk all the time about her life, about her kids, her husband, all that, right? Something happened in her life one day, y'all. I remember it was a weekend. We came back from the weekend, so it was a Monday. She just stopped talking. She just stopped talking completely. So I'm assuming something traumatic happened. She stopped talking. And we were representatives on the phone. Like we were CSRs for like this pilot program. And it wasn't super busy, so we weren't on the phone all day. So we had a lot of time to talk to each other in between. And she just stopped talking completely. And so since she had stopped talking, they put her on mail. She was like processing these incoming mail and like inquiries and stuff like that, right? She still sat at her desk, but she didn't say nothing. She wouldn't say good morning. She didn't say goodbye. Nothing. So I feel like our group, we were so close, but I also felt like we felt bad talking as much, and she wasn't included. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't talking. And then one day she just started talking again. And, you know, we never knew what happened. And of course, we weren't pressuring her to, you know, to tell us or anything like that. We would always check on her, and she would like nod her head and stuff like that. But then one day, y'all, she started talking. And we were so happy to hear her voice. We were so happy to hear her voice. Like, it was, I don't know, it was a very interesting moment, you know. But I mean, like, she stopped talking for weeks, y'all. Weeks. So, yeah. I hope the whole gang is doing good. Hope everybody is good. Hope everybody is well, healthy, happy. A lot of them, their kids are grown now. That was a good time working there. I'm tearing these nachos up, right? I am. Little guacamole. I'm telling y'all I was hungry, man. For real. I'm about to get into a topic in a second. Question. Well, not even a topic, a question. A question somebody asked me. I think it's a simple question, but a good question that we all probably could take something from. And even if the current version of you can't, I'm sure it's something you could relate to at some point in your life. Like when I don't want to make guac, I like getting holy moly guacamole. Is that what it's called? I think it is called holy moly. But this avocado verde from Aldi is good too. They got one with pineapple in it. I don't know about that. I ain't never tried it. And I don't know if it's good because I feel like there's always so many of them, you know, on the shelf. Like like sometimes it's hard to find the verde one. It's pretty good. Nachos is banging. It's Virgo season, y'all. Honey's birthday is around the corner. Her birthday is on the 10th. Shout out to all the Virgos. That was a good bite. Before I get into this question, if you have a question, a situation, or a topic that you'd like me to address here on the channel, hit me up at rondasrealtalk@gmail.com or send me a DM on Instagram at rondasrealtalk. All right, so shout out to Sienna. She sent me an email with a question that I felt like, you know, it really had me stuck because 20-year-old Rhonda could really resonate with it. All right, so the question was, how do I stop feeling like I have to prove my queerness? And I was like, yeah, that's a good question. So I responded back as I wanted some clarification. I asked Sienna, you know, who's making her feel like this? Is it you or is it other people? So she responded back and said, sometimes it's her, but it's mostly other people. Okay, I got it. So the response to that is you have nothing to prove to anybody in any part of your life. any part of your identity. It doesn't matter. Like, you have nothing to prove. And once you start kind of doing that song and dance and kind of, playing a little game of people feeling like, they're putting pressure on you to prove something, they're never satisfied. They always move the goalpost anyway. You get what I'm saying? People put these expectations on us, and we value who they are or who we think they are in our lives. And then we try to make these adjustments personally to try to satisfy them, and it can never be done. That's why you just can't do it. Life really has to be about you. Your values, your morals, your interests. Like, you have to make those decisions for yourself, and you have to be comfortable with the person that you see in the mirror. That's the only thing that's going to matter. That's it, And have I been in your position? Absolutely, 100%. When I was 19, 20 years old, I got on the party line. I found my people. I found other Black lesbian women in LA, right? They looked like me. They dressed like me. And I thought I found my people. And when I went to a house party for the first time, when I walked in, I wasn't even there for 5 minutes when I saw this tall woman. She was intimidating. She was older than me. And she asked me, because I looked kind of girly, but kind of tomboyish at the same time. I had my hair flat ironed. And so she looked confused. And she was like, what's up with you? Are you a femme or are you a stud? And I had, heard the word stud before, but I didn't identify as a stud. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And she was just like, you look real down the middle. You need to be a femme or a stud. You make a decision. And immediately put these expectations and pressure on me. And I'm like, damn. And of course, I want to be accepted, in this group and everybody that's hanging out and doing things. I want to be accepted. So I chose stud. I felt like I, identified closer to a stud because I was already a tomboy. I love sports. I loved, my baggy jeans and stuff like that, right? So I chose to identify as a stud. Is that really what I wanted at the time? No. You know what I mean? And I spent years identifying as that. And but nothing came out of it though. You get what I'm saying? Like, I still would have made the same connections and relationships, and the things still would have happened the way they were supposed to had I just continued to be who I was and did what was best for Rhonda. So there's no way to prove your queerness. It's just not, there's not a reward. You don't get anything. You don't cross a finish line, like none of it. The experience is completely yours, and you have to make it yours the entire way. Because like I said, people just start putting things on us that we didn't ask for, but we get caught up in it. It's very easy to get caught up in it. And I love this question because it can really apply to anything. How do I prove my womanhood, my motherhood, parenthood? How do I prove my Blackness? My Blackness has also been questioned too, y'all. Like, I grew up in LA, grew up in Compton. And when we relocated to the suburbs, people were trying to question my Blackness. And I'm like, it was getting in my head. I'm not gonna lie. It was getting in my head. And I'm like, how can I allow something like this to happen? Looking back, because both of my parents are Black. My entire family is Black. I'm having a very Black experience, regardless of where I live, right? So I think ultimately people that put pressure on other people to prove certain things, this is what it boils down to, in my opinion. I think that they are people who are projecting their own insecurities and limitations and fears onto other people. They're busy disrupting other people's lives, because guess what? If they weren't doing that, they'd have to deal with their own shit. And that's just not something they're ready to do or capable of doing. They want to make everybody else a project instead of working on the ultimate project, which is themselves, dealing with their demons and their darkness and their shadow and dysfunction, like the things that they have to deal with. They refuse to do that. So what they do is look for other people, and they just project a whole bunch of shit, get into your head. That's all it is people trying to get into your head. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But when we're young and we're navigating life, we can be young and impressionable. We're trying to fit in. We're trying to be accepted. And, it happens. It's happened to me multiple times. But, all I can say is that you have absolutely nothing to prove. You just don't, So like I said, my queerness has been questioned. My Blackness has been questioned. Even my womanhood, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the ideal definition of a woman. I don't have any biological children. I'm not married to a man. I'm not married at all. I wear boys' clothing. I wear hats, hats to the back. All of that stuff is in question, but it doesn't bother me though, because I'm comfortable with my decisions and doing what's best for me. And I think, like, I'm telling you, you really have to go for what's best for you. If you want to push the envelope, if you want to carve out your own lane and whatever it is that you're doing in queerness and in any other part of your life, do it, try it, explore, experiment, try it. You really don't know what you like or what you like or don't like until you try it. So yeah, you have to carve out your own lane and do what's best for you and be comfortable, with with the person you see in the mirror. If you can sleep at night, you got a clear conscience. That's all that matters most. And you just got to really just ignore the noise, because it's always going to be some noise. It's always going to be somebody running their damn mouth. Always. And that person needs to know damn well they need to go sit somewhere and go do the work and go work on themselves. That's what they should be doing. But they're busy, you know, disrupting other people's lives. And also, too, a lot of it is learned behavior where, you know, they've been around people who have been controlling and manipulative. So they're just simply mimicking that behavior and projecting onto other people. So, yeah, you have to be comfortable with you, and you have nothing to prove. You know, if you identify as queer, then so be it. If you don't even want to identify as queer, so be it. If you identify as queer right now and 10 years from now you don't, that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. And people still gonna have something to say about that. Trust me, people gonna always run their mouth. And like I said, you just gotta be okay with who you are. So y'all, let me know in the comments if you can provide any type of feedback or any type of words of encouragement. You know, answer this question for Sienna to help her, you know, because clearly these people are running their mouths and kind of got to her a little bit. But yeah, go ahead and add to it, y'all, in the comments. I will meet y'all there. That is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, y'all, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And like I said, if you have any topics, situations, or questions, y'all, make sure to hit me up at rondasrealtalk@gmail.com or send me a DM on Instagram at rondasrealtalk. All right, y'all, make the best of the day. Be good to yourself. Peace.